3 top tips, trade secrets, how to restore wooden sculpture, whether indoors or outdoors. The cut, the chisel marks, see with the oil glistening. You know, I love anything that takes no effort and no time to get brilliant results. So I'm going to show you some brilliant results. We need some colour. So this is an African one-piece carving, mid-20th century probably. This is yew, because I checked what colours I had in my store cupboard today. I was going to put mahogany into this, but I discovered I've got more yew and a little bit of mahogany. Yew is probably wrong because it's a bit yellowy. So I'm going to mix the yew, bear with me, with what I've got left over in the Georgian mahogany. So I think rule number 1 when it comes to especially outdoor sculptures like this is stop being precious. You don't need to be precious. Mix up the colours. So mahogany and yew. I shouldn't really be wearing. These are not my best clothes, but they're not exactly my worst clothes. Although some people might have a different opinion. Mix that up. Good old standard paintbrush. So you might have seen the video actually of me buying this African piece about a month ago at Shepton Mallet Antiques Fair. But the timber is dry, it's cracked, it's lost shadings of colour. So I'm going to add colour, going to add some lustre, fix the cracks. I'm going to give her a new lease of life in front of your eyes. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but the weather has been absolutely revolting. It's been raining for weeks. Solid rain and then some hot sun. She's cracked up a little bit, but hang on, what's she looking like there? Okay, you can see, well anyway, no you can't see because this is the first stage. Get some colour into the dried out timber. This is just a soft wood, but it is a one-piece carving. She's a fertility piece. So a beautiful thing, quite important. West Africa, I would assume, maybe Central Africa. Always lived indoors, I'm guessing. But I want her in the garden. Now she is going to look fantastic in a moment, I promise you. But she will age over time and she will split and she will change. She'll be a evolving piece of sculpture and that's exactly what I want. So every year I'll come back and treat her. So colour in first. I'll finish this off. Remember, do not be precious. Just whack on the colour. A little bit in there. Right, let me give you a close-up shot of that. You see what I mean by instant? Don't you just love it? Okay, so there you go. That's first stage. Let me now do the other side. Right, almost there. Final touches. And I've got no stain. But I've got a bit on my arms, but none on my trousers. What do you think about that? That's years of experience, I reckon. Mind you, I've probably got stain. In fact, I do have. I've got stain and paint on every single item of clothing I own. Yeah. Do you know, when you're doing things like this, you get to really know the piece of sculpture as well, bizarrely. I know it sounds a bit odd, but it's true. You see all the cuts and the marks. And you know, when this was carved in Africa, it was carved using traditional hand tools, handmade tools, probably. Adzes, you know, the old adze, a bit like an axe that you just kind of whack the timber with. Because this is one piece. Chisels, knives, they would use kitchen implements even to carve these things. They are very simply done, but the skill involved actually is quite remarkable. I would dearly love to be able to do this. I mean, I do sculpt, but I use stone and I whack the living daylights out of it. But this is wonderful. It's a soft wood, so it's not that difficult to carve, which of course means, being a soft wood, it will deteriorate more outdoors than a hardwood. So this is why, once I've done this, it'll be an ongoing project, but that's what I like about it. I love the fact that she's going to change over time, and then every year I'll just literally touch her up to improve her. And she will evolve. She'll be a living piece of sculpture, which in my mind will get better with the years as she splits and cracks and I fill her and paint her or touch her in with the colours. That's all good stuff for me. I love her, absolutely, absolutely love her. Whack it on. It doesn't have to be uniformed. If this thing was 200 years old, the colour would not be uniform. And that's what I want to do. And then maybe in years, when she does look ancient and gnarled, I'll take her indoors. Looking like a centuries old piece rather than, what, probably 50? No more, I'd guess. Wonderful. How's that looking? Last bit up there, maybe. It's so satisfying, this. It's as good as meditating. Okay, overall look. Let's have a look at her. Probably got a lot of you in there compared to the mahogany, but actually, oh, hang on. Don't like that bit. Hang on, get my brush. She's going to have some runs, isn't she? Don't mind that so much. You're bound to miss a bit, don't worry. You can get that later. Right, what we'll do is now we'll let her dry for a few hours. You could do it overnight, but a few hours will do. And then I'll come back with the second stage. And then finally, the third and most crucial stage. Keep watching. Okay, so 4 hours of drying. Now this is stage 2. I'm going to get to stage 3, the most important bit, soon. What you now need is teak oil. Standard teak oil. I bought 2 bottles. I'll probably only use 1. Might use 2, but always good to have a spare. So I think they were about £6 each. And if you know the smell of teak oil, it is just delicious. It takes me back to schoolboy cricket with the linseed oil. You remember on the cricket bats? You might have done this if you're in America with your baseball bats protecting the wood. Beautiful. Okay, hang on. I need the brush and container. So same old brush. I haven't washed it. Just, that's it. The same brush that I used to put the stain on. Actually, see how yellow the teak has dried. And that was a bit of a concern in the beginning, but in truth, I think it's highlighted really nicely. So sometimes things work out by accident. So loads of thick, glutinous, is that a word? I don't know. Jolly nice anyway. Runny, oil-like teak. Well, it is oil, isn't it? Right, okay, start from the head. Here we go. Instant gratification. Oh my goodness gracious me. Isn't she just drop dead gorgeous? Give her a good old covering. Again, do not be shy, honestly. Whack it on. The pleasure this gives you is ridiculous. Let's see what she looks like from the front. Look at that. Look at that. This is even much easier, actually. Goes on much easier than the colour. Oh. Now, of course, teak oil will protect the timber through the 4 seasons. It will feed the wood, protect the wood, and give it that luscious, glossy, oily finish. And you would do this once a year. If you don't do it regularly, as in once a year, then the timber will be prone to dry out and you will get more cracks. Again, I'm kind of looking for cracks. It's what I want. I want this thing to build up over years into something that looks like a real antique. I mean, if this was an antique from the 19th century with good provenance, it'd be worth thousands of pounds. Thousands. But I'm going to make it look like it's worth thousands of pounds sitting in the garden. can just sense that this sculpture loves the oil, because they do have kind of characters. You might think this is odd, but they do. And especially tribal pieces like this, very much so, because these were objects of importance. They had great significance. They were bringing luck and good fortune and new birth, new life to tribes, peoples. So I think it's nice to, I feel like I'm giving it a new lease of life. So it's rather nice. You get to know these things as you live with them. Actually, this colour, hold your horses, because this colour is absolutely delicious, I promise you. Hey, I'll give you a little bit of a close-up first before I finish it off. Oh, look at that. Obviously it'll dry a little bit. You can put one coat on, two coats. Two coats would be good. I'll just go with the one, because I will keep an eye on her over the next few months and just keep topping her up. Even look at the base, the patination on that base is absolute. I don't know what to say. Okay, hang on. It's going to get better, by the way, so let me just get that in a position. Right, I'll continue. Won't take long. I'm going to stand on, actually, health and safety. We don't do health and safety. Not in the world of antiques. It doesn't exist. Oh, that is just so satisfying. Let it run, let it dribble, let it soak in. Wow. You really get to see the adze marks. I'll show you actually on the chest area here is a good example in a moment once I've finished. You can see the shape, the cut marks. It's kind of one cut, no messing about. These things were created with, as I've mentioned, with great skill, certainly, but very quickly. I've seen them. The guys in the villages can really churn these things out in double quick time. I suppose it's just years, generations of practice. Skills passed on from father to son, grandfather to grandchild, and they're still doing it today. And you can see, can't you, where Picasso and many other 20th century artists got some of their inspiration. African art. But it's always actually intrigues me, fascinates me, that when you look at very early Western art, so Celtic and much earlier, from thousands of years ago, in fact, that resemblance are actually quite remarkable. Funny thing. Right, she is positively dripping in teak oil, which is what she loves. Give her a little time to dry and we'll come back for the all-important final stage 3. But before we do, let me show you what I meant by the adze marks. Can you see here the cut, the chisel marks? You can see with the oil glistening where each slice, each cut has been taken. Let's see if we can get another good area as well. Here's a good point, look at that. Slice, 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 one slice. No messing about. One strike wonders. Great skill. Right, well this is now the, oh I haven't got my wax polish, this is the final bit. We need this. Crucial, it's beeswax furniture polish, really good quality, expensive stuff. I'm going to give it a light coating. Now what this is going to do is not only protect the wood, just like the oil, but it will build up an antique patination, and that's what it's about. So this wax, just a very light coat all over time will build up a patination. It'll kind of, it'll crust, it will glaze almost, and it will give the timber a much more aged appearance, as well as, of course, crucially, protecting the wood. I'll finish it and put her in position. There she is in position. Hang on, I'll show you her in all her glory, next to some palm trees. Perfect positioning. And she will now improve with every season. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.